Jesus tells a story in the New Testament about a guy who's walking down a street, walking down the road one day, and he's just kind of whistling a tune. And these people jump out, and they rob him. They take his wallet, they take his money, and they beat him, and they kick him, and they spit on him, and they leave him literally to die on the side of the road. He's bloody, he's crying, he's messed up, his face is messed up, and they leave him sitting on the side of the road, and they escape. And so the guy's sitting there on the side of the road for a while, and off in the distance, he can barely make out, but there's somebody coming down the road. And so I can imagine that it's kind of like as you're stunned, you can barely see. It's kind of foggy, but he can make out a figure off in the distance. And so he starts to think, well, I'm about to die here, but if this guy will just hurry up and come over to me and help me up and get me some help, then I'll be okay. And as it gets closer, it's a priest. And the Bible says that the priest looks at him and crosses the street on the other side. So the man is left there, beaten and bloody and robbed. Several more moments passed. And the guy sees, off in the distance, he sees another person, and he's thinking, this is my last hope. I've been here for a long time. I'm about to bleed to death. I don't want to go any further. This is my last hope. And so off in the distance, he sees somebody, and it's a church person. I mean, they knew the Bible. They knew they knew what to do. They knew the right thing to do. But once again, they see him, they look at him, and they cross on the other side. And so as the guy is beat down and laying on the side of the road, and I can imagine by this time he's crying out, just, God, go ahead and kill me. It's too painful. I'm in too bad a shape. I just want it all to be over. When off in the distance he sees one more person, and he's thinking, the first two just walk right past me. He's not going to do anything. And so with tears in his eyes, he makes contact with this last person. And the Bible says that the guy reaches down and he begins to patch his wounds. He begins to put pressure here and pressure there to stop the bleeding. And he begins to wipe the tears out of his eyes. And the Bible says that the man put the beaten guy on his donkey, and he took him to the local Motel 6. Probably not the Motel 6. It could have been the Motel 2 way back when. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the Motel 6 is the sequel. Okay, but he takes him to an inn. He fixes his wounds. He patches his wounds. He gives him a place to sleep. And the next morning, he goes to the innkeeper, and he says, here's what I want you to do. There's a guy up there in room 119, and I want you to take care of all of his needs. As a matter of fact, here's some money. I want you to do anything that he needs. I think this will be enough. I think this will take care of him. But if not, I'll come back in the morning, and I'll settle it up with you. And then Jesus, after telling this story to a group of people, looks up at him. And in Luke 10, verse 37, it says, Jesus told him, go and do likewise. Out of the three people in the story, only one was willing to act, and it saved a life. Only one was willing to move so that the guy that was robbed out of nowhere wouldn't die. And Jesus says, I want you to be like that guy. This morning, here is my prayer. Here is what I'm asking you to do. I want you to go, and I want us to do likewise.